What is shaking, everybody? Welcome back to Turntable Tales right here on the Spins Vinyl channel. I'm here with my guy, Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame. What's up, dude?
Mr. Spins Vinyl, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Cannot complain. Complain. You know, hanging in there.
Yeah, just trying to finish out the year.
That's it, dude. You know, let's just get through this year. Let's start from scratch. Let give us a clean slate and let's, have a good 2026.
Exactly. Just reset the whole thing, man.
Exactly. Oh, man. I mean, every year has its good and its bad. I'm trying to focus on the good, but we're trying to move into the new year with some good resolutions. So,
yeah. Well, I think this is a fun way to kick it off, man.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. Like, this is a great way to start the year, dude. We're gonna doing a little Hall Oates. Kind of a greatest hits top 10 list. We're gonna rank these songs, just go through the best of Hall Oates. And dude, I already know what you're gonna say. Like this was an impossible undertaking. Like how do you rank the top 10 Hall Oates songs?
It's with no exaggeration. You could take all 10 of these songs and mix them up 10 different times, and that list will still be correct.
100%.
Yes, like there's no way to be right about this. There's no way to be wrong about this. It's just something fun to talk about.
Exactly. I was gonna say, nevertheless, because we're gluttons for digging into this stuff and trying to make it work, that we had to do this. So this will be a fun one, man. This will be a fun one. It's always good to reminisce about Hall & Oates, man. Daryl Hall. I mean, I put him on a pedestal in terms of great male vocalist, just vocalist in general. And as you know, dude, it's not all about the voice, even though he has a great voice. It's just about his style and the way he delivers his vocals and the creativity. I mean, second to none.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Because even as we were going through these, we know all the songs, but when you start having to try to rank them, you want to go back in and catch all the details, And I listened to every single one that we have on the list. And that was one of those fresh reminders of just how unique his vocal delivery was. It wasn't something you could write out. You couldn't plan it out. It was just how he felt it and how it came out of him. And like nobody else does it like Daryl. When you hear him singing, it's him without no one even has to tell you, kind of thing.
So what do you got? What's song one for you? Or rather, what's the first song on our list? And then we'll go through and rank them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so the first song I had on my list was Everything Your Heart Desires. That was the first one I had on my list. And even just to kind of explain something, like I jotted down a little bitty note about every single song, just so I would know something to say about it, try to differentiate it from other stuff. And for me, that song falls at number 3 on my list. So it's actually in my top 3 of Hall & Oates songs.
Wow.
And it was their later song. I didn't pull albums for everything at all. Matter of fact, this is the only one I did grab, just because I feel like a lot of people weren't this album didn't get as much attention as the earlier ones, but it was their 1988 release that came off of. And yeah, I definitely think that belongs in the top 3. And I think one of the things about that is every time I listen to that song, it really is the culmination of all the things that made Hall & Oates so amazing through the 80s. Between his delivery style, the way they use the synth and guitar, in that song, to me, as much as they did it to perfection in all the other songs, they mastered the Daryl Hall vocals and the Oates, like not chorus. What am I thinking about? Yeah,
it's like the harmonies, right?
The harmonies. Like it's as perfect as Hall & Oates had ever done it. So that song to me is the culmination of all the stuff they did in the 80s, and it came out in that one perfect track, and that's number 3 on my list.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, so yeah, I know we each put together a list, and we ended up picking a lot of the same songs, and then each of us took one. In fact, we only had we did 8 that we matched on, so we just each picked one to make the list 10, and that was your one that I didn't pick. And to be honest, it's because it did come out a little bit later, and I knew it was 88, and I looked it up and was listening to it and everything, and realized like I'm not really familiar with this one. I mean, it's great, like I want to get familiar with it, but it's not one that I can point to and say, oh yeah, that one, it kind of gets me in the feels because of nostalgia, or it's one that I've, sung in the car or whatever. It just wasn't that thing. So I hate to say it, but this one ended up at the bottom of my list. And it's just familiarity, honestly, because it's a really good song, dude. It's a really good song. But I was just like, it's kind of like listening to a long lost Hall & Oates song that I just wasn't familiar with. But yeah, so it's a fantastic song. It's just all the other stuff. I have so much love for that. All I could do was put it down at 10 with a little asterisk by it that I need to, listen to it some more.
Yeah. And I kind of, it's not surprising at all. That's the reason why that's the only album I pulled, because I knew me having that song that high on the list was going to be a total and complete oddball thing for anyone probably watching this video. But man, that is a killer track. Especially after the second verse, when they go into the chorus and Hall does this, why do you want more? And he holds the more. And then Oates comes right in on top of it with this, if you have it's like, oh my gosh. It's like the perfect 5 seconds of Hall & Oates right there. I love that so much.
So now I have to go back and listen to it again, dude.
Yeah.
So cool.
All right. So you got a 10 on that. You got it at number 10. I got it at number 3.
All right. We have to figure out a way to, let me put together a little thing here.
Yeah. And I'm jotting down the scores too. Cause I think kind of like we said, we'll add them up and then, the lowest score gets number 1 and blah, blah, blah. So we'll see how that pans out.
Perfect.
So the next one, let's say it isn't so.
Say it isn't so. So this is one where honestly, dude, it was like this and like this. And as I kept going through the list and I kept trying to move things into different slots and stuff, it was like, man, dude, it's so hard. So say it isn't so. It kept going in the top 3 and I just kept moving it up and down and up and down. It ultimately landed at 2. Wow. I love Say It Isn't So, dude. It's so good. I love the outro. How he's like, and I don't know, I guess it's kind of a bridge. I don't know, where he's going like, why you want to go? Do you have to say you want to go? Oh, baby, say it isn't. And then it's say it isn't. And it just kind of keeps going with this like playfulness around say it isn't so and throwing in stuff. Why you have to say it isn't so? I know it's so hard for you. Say it isn't. It's second to none. It really reminds me of, and the first band I was ever really aware that did really interesting, fun, intricate, playful, whatever you want to say, things in the lyrics as it comes into like the end of a song would be Earth, Wind & Fire. And I don't know if like Philip Bailey, or I don't know if he's the only singer. I always mess that up. But whoever it is in Earth, Wind & Fire would always like throw these cool, like harmonic, playful things in with the lyrics. And it's sometimes the best part of the song. Like, I just can't wait to hear that part. I have to like shut everybody up. Oh, no, I have to hear this part. I have to hear this part. Yeah. Hall & Oates is the same way. Daryl Hall's the master of that as he takes us through a tune. And oftentimes as he gets playful with whatever, the chorus or different things coming into the end of it. And Say It Isn't So is one of those songs for me. So it's number 2, not just for that reason. I mean, the thing is the only way to differentiate some of these, because they're all catchy melodies. They're all catchy, hooks in terms of lyrics and stuff, and the chorus and all that stuff. Say It Isn't So is one of them. But that's kind of one of the things that separates this song for me. So that's why I put it at number 2.
Yeah. No, it's definitely solid. I mean, I had it at number 5 on my list. It is where I had Say It Isn't So. And and I think like the biggest thing about it that gives it the most oomph to me, I mean, again, every single song we're talking about is perfection and could easily be number 1. But the thing I love the most about Say It Isn't So is it kind of reminded me what Phil from Pantera said when they were talking about, how Pantera developed their sound and when they were doing like Cowboys from Hell. And he was like, everybody, likes the riff. Why don't we make the entire song the money riff? That's right. Which again is what made Pantera so freaking amazing. And I feel like that's what Hall & Oates did on that song. It had the perfect groove that just drug you right in. And once you were in, you were never getting out until the song was over. And they were like, let's don't screw with any intros. Let's don't screw with any it's like the first note hits and the groove is there, and it just takes you through the entire song, and you cannot get out of that groove. And that's the thing that just always makes that song stand out so much to me is it's just that knowing what was magical about that song, which was the groove, and then we'll just add all the amazing Daryl Hall vocals and everything on top of it, and it's another reason why it's the freaking smash that it was. But I had to put it somewhere, so it's 5 on my list.
I love what you just said too, because it's a reminder that sometimes groups that are heavy vocalists, like, you know, I'd say even George Michael and different ones, maybe you might even say like Whitney Houston and things, where you don't necessarily remember the music all that well. Like, I'm not really thinking about like, oh, that bass line is great, or that drum fill is great, or those keyboards are great and stuff. But with Hall & Oates, where they could have mailed it in, they didn't. And I don't know who helped them out with the instrumentation, if that's all Oates stuff or whatever it is. But man, dude, some of these songs, and you just said it, and I think Say It Isn't So is a good example where, and just about every song on this list, where the keyboards are great. There's always some great drums going on. They sound really good. And the bass lines always sound great too. So it's just, they're not phoning it in, man. It's like the whole song is great.
Yep. Totally agree.
All right. What's number 3?
All right. So next, let's go with Adult Education.
Okay.
So on that one, what notes did I put down for that one? I mean, again, it's a great song with a great groove. I guess it was somewhat later, considering, you know, overall kind of body of work there. And I mean, there's nothing bad to say about it. I just had to put it somewhere on the list. And so for me, it fell to number 10. Yeah, that's my number 10 on the list.
Okay. Well, there was a glitch in the Matrix a little bit, because I ended up changing out another song for this one. I think this was my song that you didn't pick in your 8.
Right.
And then I changed it up. So Adult Education, I actually inserted instead Method of Modern Love. And I like Adult Education, so we don't have to, you know, I think that's a great song too. Method of Modern Love is a great song also, man. And I actually ended up putting Method of Modern Love at number 1. And again, that's really tough, because there's a lot of number 1s on here. But dude, it's just something about that song, man. METHODLOVE, right? It's like, you know, super catchy and stuff, but their lyrics are so great, man. It's in the moonlight, under starlight, songs old as the night are what I've been dreaming of. Everybody's heart is iron, locked in a modern world. Dreams are made of different stuff. And so it's one of those romantic songs that Hall & Oates does. That's kind of, you know, it's called Modern Love, but really, even at the time, 40 years ago, it's addressing things that are just different about current times, and being a little bit more old fashioned and traditional and stuff like that, which is even more intense now, you know, as now we've got internets and cell phones and all the different stuff too. So yeah, I just love this one. I just think it's got a great vibe, and I love the lyrics, and I can call you, got your number, share my life with you 1,000 miles away. It's just kind of dreamy.
My favorite line right there.
Yeah, it's kind of dreamy. It reminds me of another song that's on this list, which I won't mention yet. But you know, it's just hard, dude. You know, if you asked me to pick these songs before I went, like you said, we both went back and listened to all these. I maybe wouldn't have put it number 1, but as I was listening to it, I was just like, it's the mood I was in the moment. I'm like, all right, man. So yeah, sorry about that. I know Adult Education, I actually like that song too, but I ended up picking Method of Modern Love. I messed us all up. Sorry about that. But anyway, well,
it's not a problem. We'll put it on the list here. I'll replace that.
Well, so if you were going to put, it's just going to mess your list up. So yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, you know, actually, out of the list, I mean, because Method of Modern Love is probably about the same place I would put Adult Education.
Okay.
Just in terms of some of that later Hall & Oates stuff, again, fantastic. Do I think it might beat out some of the other things that we already had on the list? I mean, probably not.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we're still squared away.
Cool.
All right. So the next one, Kiss on My List.
Kiss on My List. Yeah, I love that one, dude. And I'll be honest, I got it at, I'll just tell you, I got it at number 4.
Number 4.
That piano intro and just again, I just sound like a broken record just going on and on about like, how Daryl Hall and in every single one of these tunes, he's so great. It's original every single time. And I think the music is really great. It goes back to what I was saying about them musically. This is a song which for a vocal group, you could take the vocals out and it would still be a great song.
Right.
So I just think Kiss on My List, I put it at number 4, just missing the top 3. I just think it's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, I have it at number 8 on my list because again, something had to be number 8. But a lot of the exact same stuff that you said, but the two things that always stand out the most to me about that song, of course, is how memorable the chorus is. And it's also one of my favorite Daryl Hall, kind of the bridge that he does between the verse and the chorus. It's just like the way he brings a little bit of power through his voice in that transition is actually one of my favorite bridges that he's ever done. And that's the piece that really, really stands out to me on that song. So again, just another fantastic classic. That's an absolute perfect song, but I have it at number 8 on my list.
Kiss on My List, number 8 on my list.
So
well, that's actually interesting. I know we've just done 4, but I mean, it bears already making a comment on the fact that we're kind of far off on these picks, man. It's kind of interesting.
So far. Okay, how about You Make My Dreams Come True? That was also on the list.
All right, why don't you go first? Where would you put this one?
I mean, I think the coolest thing about that one is that's one that has a lot of 80s upbeat energy, like get up and dance energy, because there's so many great songs that they had that was a little more soulful, even though they were kind of groovy and stuff like that. But You Make My Dreams Come True was kind of more of their, I don't know, just kind of more of their fun, poppy 80s, really, really upbeat. So I definitely like that aspect, kind of a little bit different than what they normally did. And then also too, that rhythmic delivery that Daryl does, and that along with the groove of the song, he's kind of on that, what I want, you got that, like he's staying right on top of the groove of that piano or whatever that's playing. And it actually does give it a smooth punch, because the piano or keyboard is not getting in his way, and he's not getting in the way of that groove of the keyboard. So it's kind of like they're really kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of over explaining it, but it is something that's kind of magical that I feel about it. So yeah, I think that's an awesome song, and You Make My Dreams Come True is number 7 on my list.
Nice. Wow, dude, we're off on this one too. It's kind of crazy, but they're again, I literally just take 10 darts and just throw it at the wall, and however it comes out, you're not wrong, right? So, I got it's a number 3 on mine.
Okay.
You Make My Dreams. Yeah, I mean, What I Want, You Got, and it might be hard to handle, but like a flame that burns a candle, the candle feeds the flame. I mean, come on, man. Such a great lyric, dude. I love it. And you're right, like whatever that little crunchy guitar sound or whatever that is, that's kind of going, is cool too. And you're right, I love how the interaction between that sort of cool riff and Daryl's voice kind of go together and everything. Right. So yeah, I don't know. Again, it could have been anything, but I'm a sucker for these, and most of their songs are probably more about love and stuff like that already. But this is just another one where, I don't know, I just get into kind of the poetry of the romantic lyrics and stuff. I'm a sucker for that. So yeah.
I mean, but they were geniuses at that, man.
For sure.
All right. So moving on to the next one. I mean, the infamous Private Eyes.
Private Eyes.
Come on. So I'll let you go first on this one.
I mean, you're right. Another one, right? And it's so crazy just how much of this stuff is ingrained in you, in your DNA, because all these songs were on the radio nonstop. If they got a video, they were on MTV nonstop. And it just became part of who you were, man. And this is one of those. And we've talked about it in the past too, in terms of really hooky, whatever you want to say, phrases that you kind of go around saying and stuff. And Hall Oates do that to a T, like just about everything on here, right? People always talk about, you know, You Make My Dreams Kiss on My List, Private Eyes. It's just another great one, man. And so I see you, you see me, watch you blow on the lines when you're making a scene, oh girl. I love the bridge in this one. We actually did a video on just talking about bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
Why you try to put up a front with me, I'm a spy, but on your side you see slip on into any disguise. I'll still know you, look into my private eyes. And it's infectious. I love it. It's such a great hook. It's got, I love a good bridge, and this one's got it. So I put Private Eyes at number 5.
Okay. I think it's another good point that you're bringing up there too, because like the way you've been singing some of the lyrics, I think Hall & Oates don't get credit for their lyrics. I think people get, because like you were saying, so many of their songs have such catchy hooks. The choruses are so memorable, and especially as a kid or whatever, those are the moments that you waited for. Was the, you know, Private Eyes, and you're doing the double clap and all that stuff, and that stuff is so memorable that I don't think everyone necessarily paid attention to how creative they were in the writing of their actual lyrics. I mean, they had some amazing stuff that I mean, you don't hear about them spoken. You don't hear people speaking about them from a terms of being great lyricists.
Right.
It's like catchy hooks and choruses. That's what you hear about with Hall & Oates. But I'm kind of stumbling over my words there, but you know what I mean?
No, totally, dude. And I was thinking about this, you know, anytime you hold somebody kind of in reverence, and I guess we all feel this way, right? Some people are going to feel this way about Ozzy Osbourne, although he gets his flowers and stuff. But oftentimes we love someone that maybe has diminished a little bit over time, just in terms of recognition and just overall being played and just being kind of in the zeitgeist and stuff. And when you really identify with something like that and love it, it's like you think to yourself, like, man, this person just doesn't get the love that they really deserve, man.
Yeah.
And people just don't understand, man. They just don't understand. You know? And to me, like, Daryl Hall's one of those guys, man. I will go to my grave talking about just how freaking great he is, you know?
Yeah. All right. So moving on. The next one, I Can't Go For That. Woo. Another banger. Yeah, and like on that one, see, what are the kind of things that I noted on that? Well, of course, the groove. I mean, that's basically almost a note for note sample of what D Nice used for the song "Just Call Me D Nice." Remember that back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Remember that track? Yeah. I mean, basically, it's "I Can't Go For That" is the groove.
Okay.
What else did I put on there? Oh, like with the bridge and the chorus, I thought really kind of summed up that Philly sound that they used to, you know, kind of claim and made their mark in, and kind of the pop R&B kind of realm. I think, and I Can't Go For That, they really, really grabbed that on the bridge and the chorus. And then also I think it's kind of cool too that you get the intro, right? And like there's a chord change before they go into the verse. And some, maybe I have to go back and listen to it or whatever. But I always feel like it's really interesting when a song does that. Like one of the ones we probably know the most would be Derek and the Dominoes, Layla. You know how it starts off with the way it starts off, and then right when Clapton gets ready to come in, there's a complete chord change in where the song was. Like it's not even like it doesn't even connect. And I feel like they do the exact same thing on that song when they get ready to go into the verse. And every time I hear that in a song, I just think it's a cool thing, because it usually kind of notes some type of creative way of doing the transition. And it just adds a little something kind of cool to the song. And it's definitely clear in that one.
Yeah, that's well put, dude. And
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean I kind of stepped on you.
No. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I gave it a 4. It's number 4 on my list.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
4 on your list. I can't go for that. Okay. I like that you said about the chord change. I'm blanking out now because I made some notes too, but now I'm trying to get the melody, this picture,
Right.
hear it in my head, and I can't hear it right now. But I love the song, and you're right. I think I was thinking about this today, like, where, and I don't remember if it was this song now, but because you mentioned it, it might be where there is a part where there's just it's almost like a half step chord change.
Right.
It's not a big one, where it like takes it and then almost in the middle of a line, like he finishes it and it drops just half a step, and then he kind of goes into the chorus. I don't remember it's this one, but I just wanted to shout it out because I made a note of it and stuff. I can't remember where it falls, but it's so great, dude. It's so great. It's little subtle things like that. People just don't do that stuff enough, man. Sometimes that's all it takes to create some interest and to get you, I don't know, hooked is like such a, overused phrase, but it really does do that for you, man. So yeah, I love You Make My Dreams. Again, it just goes back to another catchy phrase, that we'd all go around saying. I swear all this stuff, man, it's like you would just think about ways to work these words into like regular speech and stuff. But I gave You Make My Dreams. I actually put this at number 3. So we're pretty close on this one.
Close on that one. All right. So next on the list, got 3 more. Man Eater.
Man Eater. Yeah. It's another one, dude. Yeah.
I mean, number one, you got the bass line that's just so automatic and well known the moment you hear it. One of the most classic sax solos.
Oh, yes.
From the 80s, which of course is just absolute golden. The way he delivers Watching and Waiting is one of my favorite Daryl Hall line deliveries. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. And then just, the legendary chorus. I mean, anyone who even hates Daryl Hall and John Oates will still sing, oh, here she comes, watch out, boy. Like, they know it. It's just, it's such a legendary chorus. So like in my mind, when I sum up everything that they did in the 80s, that's the pinnacle. That's number 1 on my list.
Oh, wow. Okay, dude. Okay. Number 1. Well, that's what's so great about this list, man, is that like, you and I can love this stuff so much and still be so far apart. But it's only because they're really all number 1, you know what I mean? And it's like, 1A, 1B, 1C.
Exactly.
I can say, even though I have Man Eater at number 9, how much I love that song. And you're right. Whoa, here she comes and stuff. And it's like, in a sense, I think of Private Eyes in the sense that, and almost more so in a way where the groove, the bass line, like you said, and everything, and the lyrics and the delivery and stuff, it almost feels like you're kind of in an alleyway coming out of a club or something. Doon, doon, doon. You really want to start snapping your fingers and everything. And it's just a masterpiece. I mean, it really is. All of this stuff, they just really had it down when it came to songwriting. And in a way, it has it all. I mean, the best bands do. I mean, that not only could they write great songs, but then they're in there with great vocals and really cool, catchy instrumentation and stuff. So even though I have it at number 9, I could have easily had this at the top of the list because it's just so good and so catchy and so memorable. Yeah, I love it. Man Eater, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thought about it now because for whatever reason, wasn't thinking about it earlier. But about maybe 13 years ago, somewhere around there, our annual meeting for our company. We have it in Milwaukee every single year, and they always bring in like a big artist to perform. Because there's like 10,000 of us at this meeting, and so like one year they brought in Lionel Richie, and they had Kool and the Gang one time, and then they also had Daryl Hall and John Oates one time. And I'll never forget that moment when the freaking bass line kicked in. And I remember turning to my girlfriend at the time, and I literally said, "Am I about to hear Man Eater live? Like, is this really happening right now?" And the sax solo comes in, and just like, oh my God, this is freaking amazing. So amazing. But I mean, matter of fact, that's what you see in the album right there. That's the little concert ticket that's sitting in there from that show that I saw them. And I mean, they were just fantastic, man.
You're right about the sax solo. You got to put it at the very top just for that. And it's got that delay on it where it's like It's a very long delay, and it's just like dun 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 dun. But then as he's going, that delay starts to play a harmony on itself because he kind of picks up the speed a little bit, and it's genius, dude.
Killer,
genius. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's so good.
Killer. All right. So we got two more left. Last one, or I'm sorry, two more. One-on-One. Where do you have that on your list?
One-on-One, I had 7, and I'll be honest, this was the hardest one for me because as I kept moving it up and down the list, this could easily be a number 1 for me, man. One-on-One is so good. I remember it like it was yesterday, sitting on the floor at my grandma's house, and like One-on-One came on, and here these two dudes dressed to the nines on stage with a black stage, and all you see is them and the mics and everything, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful, dude. I just love this song. And, the fact that they could take something that was very classical and make it modern, which we got a lot of that in the 80s, Stray Cats came along and Bowie was doing it and stuff. And they captured it on this song so freaking well. I just love it. I there's not even a lot I can say about it. It's very personal to me. I just think it's a beautiful song. Daryl Hall slays out. Again, the instrumentation is perfect for that song with those keyboards, and it's very slow and all. It's great. Looking at it now, I'm like, how is there a 7 by it? But I just didn't know what else to do with it. I mean, but it's such a great song.
Right. Yeah. For all the exact same reason why I had it at 9. It's like, well, something has to be 9. But the simplicity of the song, the softness of it, it was almost kind of like, that's what I would expect to hear on a Daryl Hall and John Oates demo. It was just kind of like it's back to basics, just the raw of what was going to make them the geniuses that they ended up being. And I love the fact that as soft as it is, they didn't have anything stumble over anything. Again, I don't know music, so I have a hard time verbalizing it. But they left the right amount of space in between the things they need to have the right amount of space in between. And so it just kept it absolutely perfect. And I feel like his vocals on that kind of flowed a little bit under the music as opposed to on top of it, like what happens in some of their other songs. And that's also something that just kind of made it a little more, you almost got a little more passion out of him because he wasn't up front. He was actually kind of singing from underneath the song. If that makes sense. Maybe it was a volume thing, just the way it was recorded. But again, those little things just kind of bring out a magic in the song. I guess that's what producers get paid so much money for, is knowing those type of little things to do with songs. I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, well said, dude. This one's got a saxophone solo too, does it? I think. Trying to remember. Yeah, I think it does.
Does it towards the end, I think?
I think it's kind of before the last chorus, I think.
Yeah, I'm starting to
I think I'm right too. I know. Well, it's got a great bass line, right? And then it's got great kind of like dreamy sort of keys, around it and stuff. And then there's this kind of, I forget, like a pad or whatever you want to call it, that's kind of like constantly in the background. It creates this really cool harmony and stuff. And then you get Daryl singing on top of it and all stuff, and it's fantastic. I think there is like a slow saxophone in that one as well, but I might be confusing also. But yeah, man, everything you said, dude, 100%, so great.
Yeah, and the other thing we kind of leave out too, because we haven't said it as much in these songs, is even with the, overly simplistic harmonies that Oates does in the choruses. You could not have a simpler part to sing in all the stuff that he does, but yet it is the genius of almost every single song with the way that they perfect such simplicity to make such beauty in the things that they produce. And it's almost every single song that it's like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably don't give Oates enough credit. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know a lot about the band as a band. I just know the music and stuff. So, I'm sure he deserves way more props than he gets. But no, you're right, dude. The harmonies are so good.
Yeah. I think it was one of those situations where he was smart enough to know let Daryl stay out front and do his thing. It's like there's some magic there. Don't screw with the magic. And he put in right where he needed to, and they together they were perfection.
Could have easily ended up with like another Wham George Michael situation where Daryl Hall was like, bye, you know.
All right. So then the very last one, Out of Touch.
Yeah, another great one, Out of Touch. Again, another catchy title and just, you know, hook in the song that you would just, you know, anytime it came up in regular conversation, you would just think of the song and start singing. I mean, we talked about this before. Like, that is just that's a master class in like how to commit this stuff to people's memory and just become part of the tapestry or whatever you want to say, you know. But yeah, it's a great one. I mean, I put it at number 8. Again, it was just so hard, you know, because I'm starting to jockey for position on a lot of these songs. But yeah, it's a great check. We've gone through, and now that we're on like the last song, dude, I'm like, my brain is so packed with Hall & Oates. I'm trying to even remember what I could say about this one. It feels like a little bit like we talked about adult education a little bit. It kind of seems like the delivery of some of it is kind of in that realm. Yeah. But yeah, it's a great song, man. These are all great songs. Again, they could all be, even as I'm looking at this list, it's changing in my head as we speak. But yeah, man, I'll let you say something more intelligent about it. But yeah, it's a great song. I put it at number 8, but I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. It does follow with some of those same elements from adult education. And I think that one of the other things that really stands out is it's another one of those songs that starts out, you know, right into the money riff. Like, you know, that same thing we are saying earlier about whatchamacallit. And the other thing that I really like about that song is that it does, what's a good way to put it? It does that Cure thing. In other words, my favorite song by The Cure is Just Like Heaven.
Just Like Heaven,
right?
Yeah.
And the thing that I love most about that song is the layering on the introduction. The bass guitar comes in, and then, you know, the drums and the 12 string, and like it just builds up by adding layer on layer to get to what's going to be that. And I feel like Out of Touch does the exact same thing. It jumps in with that bass groove, and then the synth comes in, and then the ding, 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 ding. Like it does that same thing. It starts grooving and it layers. Here's the next instrument. Here's the next instrument. And then it just shuts off and Daryl comes in doing his thing. And another one of his awesome vocal deliveries where it just that not the influx of his voice, but the inflection of his voice about knowing just kind of where to punch. And like 1 minute it sounds like he's about to go metal, and then the next minute it sounds like he's about to go straight R&B. And now that's kind of a jazzy feel. And he just moves all around in that power delivery. And he just knows when to do it and when to pull it back. And to me, that song demonstrates that to perfection. So yeah, Out of Touch for me, I actually have it at number 2 on my list.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. That was number 2. So I think that's all 10.
Ooh, man. That is a hot list, dude. That is a hot list. I was even thinking about this. Like, look, there's a lot of great bands out there with a lot of great tunes. I think, to me, I think Led Zeppelin is one where, even if I said like Led Zeppelin might not be my favorite rock band of all time, I've said that they're the best rock band of all time. And it's hard for me, like, just in my mind, just because it's like they're so consistently great.
Yeah.
But even if you just took away but if you started saying like, okay, pick the 10 best Zeppelin songs, and you're like, okay, Kashmir, and you just start kind of going down the list and stuff, it's like, I just don't know if it'd be off the top of the dome like Hall & Oates. Like, I just feel like Hall & Oates, man, it's just like, there's not a lot of other bands. And I think if people think about it, you know, and try to put together a list out of your head and just say like, well, can I really pick? Like, I love The Cure. I love Depeche Mode. I mean, I could name 10 songs, but are they going to be as great? All number ones, you know, even if I said the Beatles or whatever, it's just, and then maybe people can make the argument about the Beatles or whatever, but it's like, not to belabor it, but I just think Hall & Oates, man, they just caught lightning in a bottle. There's something so special in how their music contributed to 80s music in such a strong way. And to have this list right here and to look at any song on here, you could jumble this up and it would still be right. I mean, it's very impressive.
Right. No, I think you're exactly right, because I think like there's only one Robert Plant. There's only, like, you didn't go down the whole 9 with Zeppelin. But what you could say about Zeppelin is, if Zeppelin never existed, right, and somebody came, or a group that could play that was decent came along and found all the Zeppelin songs and put them out, that group would be big, right? I mean, they may not be Robert Plant and they may not, be any of the guys, but that group would still be big just because of how great the songs were. I don't think you can say the exact same thing with Hall and Oates. I'm like, yeah, the songs were great, but unless Daryl was delivering it the way that Daryl does, those songs wouldn't just work like that for anybody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. I think you're exactly right. I think that's what makes it so hard, because ultimately you really are judging his delivery and the way that they put those things together. And it just so happens that, like you said, they didn't shortchange the actual music and all of that as well. But yeah, there's no way you could just hand over all these songs to somebody else and just think that they would be able to run with it and make it the exact same level of hits. They just wouldn't. At least in my opinion. I mean, of course, there's somebody that probably sounds like Daryl, and all that, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I totally get what you're saying, dude. And I think you're right. And I think those are the special bands where it's like, how do you replace, like you said, you could hand these songs to someone else. Really, it's kind of, and I don't want to get into, that we do this I'm sure I take part in the whole, every video we do about something that's 80s, where we compare it to like modern music and stuff. And I hate to say it, but a lot of modern music, and they do write for each other, or they're all coming from like the 50 singers. All those songs are being written by like the same 5 people, and they just, hey, I need a song about this. Okay, here you go. I need a song about that. Here you go. And they just kind of very interchangeable.
Yeah.
The 80s wasn't like that, man. It wasn't. It was like you couldn't, even if you could, I was going to say Prince, but it's kind of funny that Prince would, as long as Prince was writing it, yes, Vanity 6 could do it. Yes, The Time could do it. Yes, Sinead O'Connor could do it, but he's still the mastermind behind it, of course.
Right.
And I still think it's always better with when it's Prince. But yeah, I don't know, man. You're right. It's like, Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. I don't, you can't have someone else singing George Michael or Whitney Houston. They're the ones that make that stuff special. And so, yeah, I think Daryl Hall, and I hate to keep putting him on the pedestal out of Hall & Oates, but I think Hall & Oates is another one like that.
Yeah, totally agree. That was the first one that was coming to mind when you were saying that, what was Michael Jackson, because he's always probably the biggest example of, you can't just pass his song to somebody else and they're going to go make it the same hit. It's like, it was what Mike did and nobody else could do it. And I'm sure Hall & Oates may not be on that level, but they are the supporting cast, like one step down from that exact same thing, where like only Daryl could do that. I mean, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, so let's also think about it this way, since I'm like looking at the tallies of our scores, and obviously the lowest score would be the winner. So number 1 and number 2 is going to be Say It Isn't So and I Can't Go For That. So they're tied for number 1. And then, like I said, in third place, there's actually, You Make My Dreams Come True, Man Eater, and Out of Touch. All 3 of those are tied for number 3. So just kind of gives an idea about kind of where it falls. But ultimately, Say It Isn't So, I guess, is our number 1 consensus pick.
There you go. That's the winner. Say It Isn't So, guys. You heard it here first. Yeah, I'm not mad at that, dude. You just rifling off those songs, man. It's just like, yes, that belongs in any playlist, man, for sure. All right, man. As always, I love this. I'm glad we're back to doing this again, dude. And super fun, man.
Always a blast, man. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, right here. I'm thinking the same thing. All right, guys. We will see you next time.